So it was you. But why? What made you go out to Dusky Bridge?
I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth.
Jesus.
Iris.
5?
Larry. This isn't an art store, now is it?
I know! I graduated junior high, okay?
What? Larry, I'm gonna put you in the fucking ground. Blackmail?
No, that was simply a product of overflowing You huffy, puffy, loosey-goosey excuse for whimpering, whining butts of a witness.
It really is because she can't swear. Order, 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 orc. I don't know why.
Hello everyone and welcome back to 4 Pixels. Your Pixels Moon and Coker here with guest Binks, and we are continuing Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. Madonna, I'm an artist. What do you think I was doing? Sketching. In front of the bridge, I was whipped up into a frenzy of art. Sketching. In front of the bridge, I was whipped up into a frenzy of art. The shock and awe that I was feeling, I transferred it all directly onto the page. Before I realized it, the flames had gone out, and then he came running up.
I suppose artists can be... Wait, how do you do that voice? I suppose artists can be strange folk.
That's right, I'm willing to sacrifice everything in order to draw the perfect sketch.
Including the truth from the sound of it.
Mr. Edgeworth, has this removed the last of your doubts?
Not at all, Your Honor. One very large doubt still remains.
And what would that be?
This is a surprisingly believable story, especially considering the source. So why did he think he needed to hide it from us until now? I intend to drag the reason out of him.
You'll regret this, Edgy. You'll really, really regret this.
Oh god. Larry, don't say shit like that.
I'm a Donum. I'm an artist. What do you think I was doing?
Tell us, Larry.
My name is Larice! Get it right! Mistakes like that are what keep you from being popular with the ladies like I am.
Just who exactly are you?
Just sigh.
Just Larry.
I'm
Oh, you stupid idiot.
I'm Larice Donum, apprentice extraordinaire.
That's what he calls himself in any case.
Then you are an artist?
Of course! I'm an artist! The real thing!
Yet again, that's what he calls himself.
Names mean nothing. There's only one issue I care to discuss. What were you doing?
That is a very big issue indeed.
Sketching in front of the bridge. I was whipped up into a frenzy of art.
Sketching the burning bridge.
The burning bridge and everything that came with it.
What came with it?
You want to hear this from my lips, do ya, Edgy? You'll regret this. That sketch of... Ah! Enough. Just take that ridiculous sketch of yours out already, witness. What are you talking about, huh? I don't know what you mean.
That does indeed appear to be the fastest solution. I'll leave it to you, Mr. Edgeworth. What, did he draw a pin-up of Edgeworth in his spare time?
What should I do? I've got a terrible feeling that the instant this sketch is revealed, the entire world may be changed by what is depicted there. Larry, I wonder if you could show us your sketch, please.
Well, well. Even I couldn't have imagined it turned out like this.
Imagined what?
That Laurie Stonham's debut would take place here, today, like this. Ouch! Show it now! Okay, but steel yourselves. This is the world of Laurie Stoneham!
Larry, you fucking suck. uh. Well. So this is Dusky Bridge, correct? Or a grimacing monster? Quite a large bridge, isn't it? Your response, Miss Von Karma?
Yes, well... It's a better drawing than I expected. Isn't it? Isn't it? I struggled to produce those flames. I really did.
Yes, I'm sure you did.
Yeah, this is going to get ugly. No one has the balls, I mean bravery, to bring it up, it seems. This mysterious flying object. Larry,
What?
the burning bridge is fine. But what is that unfortunate looking figure?
Ah, you spotted that. I thought you might.
However much I might want to ignore it, I can't.
It's Iris, of course! Iris! I'd wish she'd take better care of herself. We had to plan for our future, you know? What would have happened to her if she had injured herself flying like that?
Larry, please, answer this next question honestly.
Okay.
Are you really claiming to have seen this? Are you claiming to have seen the silhouette of the defendant flying over a bridge that was engulfed in flames?
Yep, that's what I saw. That's why I drew it. I'm an artist. A real artiste.
Art?
You...
Hi! The girl, she's really up high in this picture. What was that for?
This is all a bad dream. I was hitting you on the cheek to test that theory.
Please whip your own cheek from now on if you wish to test your wild theories. Anyway, no court of law will ever acknowledge that people can fly.
Channeling the dead? That's fine.
Yeah, and also asking a parrot for testimony? That's sure, why not?
Defending an orca? Why not?
We just, anything.
Actually, there's some precedent for this. She was flying pretty high, my sweet Iris. She was about 30 feet above the bridge at least. It was really something to see.
This has to be some kind of mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, please bring the witness back down to earth. There's no hope of that, Judge. He's been long gone.
What? Me?
This witness is your friend, isn't he?
Accessory to foolishness. Miles Edgeworth.
Let us get back to the cross-examination, by force if necessary. Mr. Edgeworth, I expect you to expose the obvious contradiction here.
Yes, Your Honor. Looks like I've got another reason to remember this moron.
Well, what did you think of my debut piece?
Get the thing away from me. Now hurry up and cross-examine him before I fucking kick his ass.
I saw Iris flying, her white hood fluttering.
Just where did you see this sight from?
Hey, no need to shout. When I was lying in bed in that rundown shack, the crack of the lightning bolt made me realize that the bridge was burning. I just watched it for a while from there, thinking how nicely it was burning. Then, after about 5 minutes, I saw it. The defendant flying. That's right. That's when I decided to go to the bridge.
I see. That all makes sense, quote unquote. Aside from the sketch itself.
Yes, this sketch doesn't make any sense. I just need to convince the artist that his work is ludicrous.
The shock and awe that I was feeling, I transferred it all directly onto the page.
You transferred everything directly onto the page, and that is that sketch here.
Yep, sensational, isn't it? Or should that be scandalous? It put my mind at ease, anyway. It did. That's right! The reason she didn't come to me, even though I waited for her, was because she was trapped on the other side of the bridge. Could it be that Iris undertook that dangerous, desperate flight in order to reach me? Oh, that's gotta be it! Alright, go me! Oh, no! Oh. Continue, please. Before I realized it, the flames had gone out, and then he came running up.
You forgot the passage of time to that extent, did you?
Well, once I get caught up in something, I tend to forget everything else.
That's true. He's always been that way. I guess he's not lying about that, at least.
Phoenix Wright appeared on the scene after 11:15. If he was drawing until then, that dispels all doubts.
Aside from doubts of his humanity,
There is a big clue. Wow, what did I say? Waiting for me in this cross-examination. His testimony does nothing less than mock the court. But I am sure that there is a vital kernel of truth hidden in it somewhere. Larry, what did you really see that night? Not that I particularly care.
In your position, that's just being irresponsible. I drew exactly what I saw. I'll give you a whole $1 that it's the truth.
If that is truly the case, then there is one thing that we can say for certain.
and what might that be?
That the person who flew over the bridge could not have been the defendant Iris.
What? What do you mean? I don't understand. Ow! A foolhardy folly of a foolish statement by an equally foolishly foolhardy fool. How exactly can you make this claim?
Tell us, Larry, according to this picture, the individual whom you say you saw was wearing a hood, correct?
Of course she was. That rundown shack is quite away from the bridge. The hood is what told me that this floating angel was my Iris. The hood is my darling Iris, and Iris is my darling hood.
What?
It seems there are bigger fools in this world than the one at the defense's bench.
Larry, there's something you need to be made aware of. On the night of the murder, Iris wasn't wearing her hood. She had given it to Wright as a gift.
That home wrecker!
Are you going to change your story now? Perhaps suggest it was Wright who took flight.
What are you talking about?
I think you understand what I mean just fine.
Why? Why did Nick have Iris's hood? I'm gonna kill him. Hedgie! What's going on with Iris and Nick? Why, you Nick! You dog! You have a boyfriend!
I gave him permission, you fool.
Wha- You can do that?
I do believe that this unbelievably mysterious sketch that makes no goddamn sense is destined to disappear, discredited, and discarded straight into the garbage. Fuck art.
I actually really like it.
It's better than what I could do.
Yeah. And also remember that Larry made that like statue clock in the very first case. So he actually has a pretty decent artistic streak. He just is Larry.
I think he's better at sculpture than he is at coloring.
Yeah, definitely. What is it now, witness? It feels like I've been waiting 25 years for this very day to come. Hedgie, today is the day I get to completely stupefy you!
What?
What is the meaning of your outburst, witness?
I hate to have to do this, but I have some definitive evidence.
Definitive.
Evidence? Iris did indeed come flying over the burning bridge. And I, Laurie Stoneham, shall prove it!
You ain't gonna prove shit, you dumbass.
Hey, who said that?
It's me in the fucking peanut gallery. Come over and fight me, bitch.
He would. He'd go right over and start a scuffle.
He'd get his ass kicked.
Yep.
I didn't expect to ask this again. But we shall be needing your testimony once again. Tell us anything you know concerning the defendant as depicted in this sketch. Show us your evidence that this nightmare was actually a reality.
Okay, I hope you're ready, Edgy. Because I'm going to feed you a whopping serving of pain!
You've been serving us a whopping serving of pain this whole time. Trust.
Moon can agree to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking end this fool's life.
When I reached Dusky Bridge, she was already gone. I was so worried, so I frantically searched all over for her. That led me to finding a beautiful crystal sphere, half buried in the snow. I'm sure that Iris was simply wearing a spare hood. After all, no one else could have lost a crystal sphere that night.
A crystal sphere?
This one. Pretty, isn't it? But finders keepers. Oh, let me just rub off this tomato sauce.
Bitch!
That sphere. Where did you find it? Let me see. Around here somewhere? Looks about right.
I can't believe Larry Butz is the murderer.
We've all been waiting for this day.
We have.
And it was half buried in the snow.
It had pretty much stopped snowing by then. But there was still some falling as I walked to the bridge.
The court accepts this crystal sphere.
That's mine, okay? I want it back afterward.
No.
What?
There's some... You don't get to fucking ask me for shit back. Fuck you.
Fuck you!
There's something on it, isn't there?
Does Larry really want to start a fight with a Canadian judge who could, like, wallop him?
He would wallop him with a hockey stick. Blood. It's a blood stain.
Oh, that's tomato sauce.
And everything.
What? A bloodstain?
You're ready, Edgy? By tomorrow morning, you'll be calling me Master Larry.
That is
You're
not my
fucking
kink.
rude, you weeb.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. No one's going to push me around anymore.
Yikes.
Didn't you want to be called Laurie Stoneham only a few minutes ago? I always saw him as more of a masochist than a sadist.
Yep. When I reached Dusky Bridge, she was already gone.
So, you went to the burning bridge.
That's right, to meet Iris. She actually flew to get to me. The least I could do was meet her halfway.
But the defendant was not at the bridge when you got there, you say?
I guess she went back to Hazakura Temple. She's a girl, after all. She must have wanted to look her best.
It must be lovely to live in the fantasy land of Larry's mind. Actually, it's so depressing that I can't even work up the energy to point.
So, what did you do next?
I was so worried, so I frantically searched all over for her.
So you searched all over for her?
She was flying pretty high, you know. I thought maybe she slipped onto her landing and got hurt. Hey, it was more than possible. Also, when I headed out to the shack the first time, I was snacking on a banana. I was pretty sure I threw the peel away somewhere around there, so, you know.
Can one guy really be this stupid? So, did you find any signs of her so-called landing?
I don't really remember. I kept on falling over myself, and I kinda lost it for a while there.
You fell over yourself?
Yeah, the snow was deep, and there was even a banana peel out there.
I can't.
Wow, somebody should join the circus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
There's stupid, and then there's Larry Butz.
The short of it is that you didn't find any signs of her landing, correct? Then what happened next?
That led to me finding a beautiful crystal sphere half buried in the snow.
Half buried.
He was sitting in the snow, with a little gathered on top of it. It was very hard to spot, actually. I mean, it was dark out, too.
I'm impressed. You did well to find it.
No matter what you may think when you look at me, I'm a pro, a genius security guard.
You're trash, but like trash that's on fire.
Oh, thank you. I used a pen light I borrowed from my company to help my search. And it sparkled really brightly as if it was saying, "Here I am," to me.
It does indeed look very much like the crystal sphere on Iris's hood. But need I remind you that she was not wearing her hood that night?
I'm sure that Iris was simply wearing a spare hood.
Each nun is assigned their own hood, and they are assigned only one.
I don't know anything about that, okay? And Iris is special, alright, dude? Even if she did steal a spare hood, I'll forgive her.
This is getting us nowhere. A destination for the day, it seems.
However, this crystal sphere was found near the bridge. That is a fact. If it didn't come from a hood, where could it have come from?
That is the question I aim to answer.
After all, no one else could have lost a crystal sphere that night.
Let me confirm this one last time, Larry. The reasons you thought that this was Iris are the hood in this crystal sphere, correct?
That's right! My gut is never wrong. I met that old bikini the next morning. And her crystal sphere was still there, safe and sound.
Indeed. I'm sorry, I don't know why I thought that they were gonna have Edgeworth talk. She was wearing it in this very room earlier today.
This case isn't going to end without a fight. Exposing the obvious contradictions in this testimony will be easy. But I fear that all that awaits us are further mysteries.
Oh, okay. There we go. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Larry. That night, there was someone. Someone who lost a crystal sphere.
What, there was? Who? Who was this stupid idiot?
Miss Elise Donham, the mentor to a stupid idiot.
The victim.
I have a photo of her here. And on the end of her staff, you can see a familiar looking crystal sphere.
Hey! That's my photograph! Give it back! Ouch! A crystal sphere like that is quite easy to find. I have one just like it on my brooch.
They look nothing alike. In any case, please take a look at this. This is the victim's staff, found at the scene of the crime.
Ah, the crystal sphere, it's gone.
What? 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 What?
Just what does this mean?
If anyone jumped or flew across the bridge that night, it certainly was not Iris, after all. She was not wearing her hood. More importantly, the crystal sphere found at the landing site was not hers either.
That means the one who flew and dropped the sphere was the victim, Miss Elise Donham?
A fool alongside another fool on a fool's errand to reach a foolish conclusion. First of all, this sketch, which I prefer to call a scribble, is ridiculous. People cannot fly, thus it is rejected. You can't do that! I saw it with my own 2 eyes! And this crystal sphere, this is nothing more than a red herring.
You honestly believe that?
Give it some thought, and I'm sure you'll realize it as well, Miles Edgeworth. Miss Elise Donham was in her room on the night of the murder. There was no reason for her to go to Dusky Bridge. Therefore, this fear cannot be related to this case. That is all.
Miss Franziska von Karma. The only people who will accept that explanation are scatterbrains and clowns.
Whoopsh! What are you pointing at me?
The victim's crystal sphere was found near the bridge on the night of her murder. Yet you expect us to believe this has nothing to do with the case.
That crystal sphere. It was probably thrown away at the bridge after the murder.
After the murder?
There is blood on the crystal sphere, isn't there? This naturally suggests that it was thrown away after the murder took place. The killer placed it there to throw the investigation off the scent. The same reason that he drew that ridiculous sketch. What? You mean... I'm the killer? No! Ah! Enough joking. Just when did this crystal sphere appear near the foot of the bridge? Unless this can be proven in some way, I refuse to believe this is related to the case.
She makes a valid point. There is no evidence that Elise Donham left Hazakura Temple that night. However, if somehow this crystal sphere can be proven to have been dropped before the victim was killed, then this case is going to transform into something else entirely.
Your response, Mr. Edgeworth? I want your final opinion on the disposition of this crystal sphere. What? Disposition? If it is not related to the case, then this witness who you called will have been nothing more than a monumental waste of time.
Prepare yourself for some very appropriate punishment, Miles Edgeworth.
Can I prove it? Can I prove that the crystal sphere was dropped before the murder took place? Can I prove it? That isn't the issue. To simply prove it, that's the only option. That's what he'd do.
That man.
My man. That's the way Phoenix Wright would do this. Your Honor, allow me to prove something to you. I will prove that this crystal sphere is a vital link to solving this case.
You will do what?
That look in your eyes. You remind me of Phoenix Wright when he is cornered.
That should come as no surprise. Because right now I am Phoenix Wright, and I am indeed cornered.
He's RPing his husband. I order you to present your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. There's a cat attacking my feet. Evidence that proves the crystal sphere was indeed dropped before the murder.
This crystal sphere, it was half buried in the snow, correct?
That's right. If it hadn't stopped snowing, then it would have been game over. The snow would have totally covered it.
That's all I needed to hear from you, Larry. Your testimony makes one thing quite clear.
What?
When the crystal sphere was dropped, it was snowing, even if it was ever so slightly.
Snowing?
On the other hand, let us look at the scene of the murder. As proven earlier today, there is no snow on the victim's body.
Ugh!
Therefore, the crystal sphere must have been dropped before the murder.
What?
Order, order, order.
Orc, orc, orc.
That's exactly what I feel like every time I do that.
On the night of the murder, the victim did indeed go to Dusky Bridge. And there, something occurred that caused this crystal sphere to come loose.
What could it have been?
The sphere. There is some blood on it, isn't there? Allow me to raise a certain possibility at this junction. The real crime scene was near the foot of Dusky Bridge.
The murder didn't take place in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. Only a fool would suggest such a foolish piece of absolute foolishness.
Just who is the fool? And which part is so foolish, Miss Von Karma?
Have you been paying any attention this whole time, Miles Ashworth? The sister saw everything. She saw the victim being killed by the defendant in the Hazakura Temple courtyard.
That's not exactly true now, is it? To put it more precisely, what she saw was the murder weapon being removed from the victim's body.
That's the same thing!
No, it isn't. You said it yourself.
Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed.
If that statement is the truth, then Dusky Bridge could very easily be the scene of the murder. The murder weapon was not removed, thus there was no bleeding.
You are forgetting one vital thing, Miles Ashworth. Elise Donham's body was found in Hazakura Temple. On foot it takes 15 minutes to travel from Dusky Bridge to Hazakura Temple. You mean to suggest someone carried the body all that way?
I've made it this far. The only place to take this is to the end. I just need to prove the possibility it happened as I presume.
Now, if the defense is ready, the court would like to have an explanation already. Please show us the method by which the victim's body was carried to Hazakura Temple.
On that snowy night, there is one way that a body could have been moved. The snowmobile. As we know, the snowmobile was used that night. It was explained as having been used to dispose of the murder weapon. But it could also have been used to carry a body.
Order, order.
This is completely unacceptable, Miles Ashworth. You've dug yourself into your own grave.
What do you mean?
The only one who could have used the snowmobile was the defendant. She's the one who moved the body. Doesn't that put the final nail in your coffin?
You're too late, Francisco von Karma. And in fact, the defense has proven something else entirely. We have shown that this case requires further investigation.
What?
Where was the victim, Elise Donham, really killed? If her body was moved, whatever for? And finally, Just what does this image mean?
Do you even need to think about that? Such a creature could never see the truth, let alone describe it.
This witness certainly sits on one of the lowest possible branches of humanity. However, he would never utter a lie that could hurt a girl with whom he is enamored. He drew this, so it is something that actually happened. The defense stands firm on this point.
Hedgie, thank you.
Someday we'll catch you, Larry. That settles it then. Get this man out of my fucking courtroom. I cannot give a verdict under these circumstances.
Right. You seem to have fulfilled my part in this. It is just as I thought. Franziska von Karma, you make a wonderful partner.
I'm sure you'll make a lady happy one day.
Yes, Adrian.
Excuse me?
There was one reason and one alone for me being. For the fangirls. Expose the darkness lurking in this case, and then pass it on to right.
Really? That's what this is all about? You could have just told me that from the very beginning. Then I wouldn't have had Francie whipping me. Oh, Daddy-o!
I think you added something there, Coco.
Did I? Miles
That sounds like
Edgeworth.
heaven to me.
I don't care about what you are here to do. This was my chance to finally grind you under my heel.
Grind me instead, please. A shame that your chance seems to have slipped by you.
What a shame, Francie! This is all your fault. Such a terrible witness. You're the affront to all the legal stands for. Ow! 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 Oh! Ow!
That's what he deserves.
You know he liked it.
He's dead now. I cannot believe that the witness's testimony relates to an actual event. I want to go home. I want to watch hockey. However, there has to be some sort of answer for the question it raises. Have his words here today really... I'm sorry. If I can put in an extra word, because I can't believe Larry Butz. Have his words here today been the truth or lies? Next time we gather in this courtroom, those are the matters that shall be addressed. I am counting on thorough investigation by both the defense and the prosecution.
And with this, the rest is up to you, right?
Court is now adjourned.
And with that, we will end this episode right here. Thank you guys for joining us, and see you next time.
Bye!